Welcome to week 2 edition of Game Time with the Guru. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, men and women, cats and dogs of all shapes, sizes, and colors. I'm your host this week, Thaddeus Ward, coming in with my predictions on this week's NCAA football and NFL football games this week. I want to kick the show off this week by letting everyone know that last week, on the first ever episode of Game Time with the Guru, I picked 23 games. I got 20 correct, and I missed 3. So my week 1 record was 20-3. All right, moving on with this week's great slate of college football games. First game kicking us off this week, we've got Louisiana Tech at Western Kentucky, Thursday, September the 10th. And I have Louisiana Tech going to Kentucky and winning this game in a close one. Going on to Friday, September 11th. First game on the schedule, University of Miami, Florida at Florida Atlantic. This game stands out to me because a couple years ago, I remember when a big brawl broke out during the game, Miami and Florida Atlantic, and had a couple of off the field incidents that happened after that brawl, and just want to let everybody know this year, keep the peace. Let's stick to the game on the field and play football. And on that note, I'm picking Miami to win this game at Florida Atlantic. Next game on the slate, we got Utah State at number 24 Utah. And I'm going to take number 24 Utah to win this game at home and start their season off 2-0 after they came off a close victory over Michigan last weekend. Getting into Saturday, ladies and gentlemen, the 12th of September. First game on our schedule is South Florida at Florida State. I'm going to take Florida State to start off the season 2-0 behind Everett Golson at home. Next game is Jacksonville State at number 6 Auburn. This has got to be a bounce back week for Jeremy Johnson. You know, last weekend, first start, second start, and I got a lot of feedback from a lot of football fans that thought that Jeremy Johnson may have been exposed. And me personally, I think that you need a running quarterback to execute Gus Malzahn's offense to the fullest of its extent. But we're going to give Auburn a win this week, and we'll see how things turn out as they prepare for their big game next week. So number 6 Auburn at home over Jacksonville State. Next game up is Oregon State at Michigan. Jim Harbaugh gets his first win as the University of Michigan head coach. Next game, we got Army at Connecticut. Connecticut in a close one at home. Next game, we got Kansas State at San Antonio, at Texas of San Antonio. And I'm going to take Kansas State in this game in a close one due to the fact that they lost their starting quarterback, Zach Ertz, which is out for the entire season after being injured in the first game of the year. Next game, we got Western Illinois at Illinois. Take Illinois in this game. Next game on the slate is Bowling Green at Maryland. And I'm going to take Maryland at home to get the win over Bowling Green. Next game up, Houston at Louisville. And I just want everybody to take note that Louisville has a freshman quarterback that last week I thought with one more year under his belt, he would have beat the number 6 ranked Auburn Tigers in a game at a neutral site. This week, I'm going to give Louisville the advantage at home over the Houston team, who's coming in with a new head coach this year. The coach came over from Ohio State, but I think Louisville will be too much while looking for a rebound from the tough loss last week to the number 6 ranked team in the country. Then we got Buffalo at Penn State. Woo! Last week, we saw Penn State get beat up by a Temple team that surprised everyone. I think this week Penn State turns it around and gets the job done at home against Buffalo. Next game up, we got Indiana State at Purdue. Last week, Purdue lost a thriller to a Marshall team that had never beaten a Big Ten opponent. This year, if Indiana State has never beaten a Big Ten opponent in football, this week, if Indiana State has never beaten a Big Ten opponent, they won't beat Purdue this weekend. So I'm giving Purdue the 9 in that one. Next game up is Miami of Ohio at Wisconsin. Well, Wisconsin made it through the storm, even though they came out as losers against the number 3 ranked team in the country, Alabama, last week. It's all uphill for Wisconsin from here. So I've got Wisconsin winning at home against Miami of Ohio. Next game, I've got Presbyterian College at Charlotte. And I'm taking Charlotte to win that game. Next game up, we got Wake Forest at Syracuse. And I'm going to take Wake Forest to go into Syracuse and get the victory. Next game, we got Appalachian State at number 12, Clemson. Clemson's at home in this game, but to me, this is a trap game for them because this is what Appalachian State, this is the type of game Appalachian State looks forward to every year on this calendar. They got a big-time ranked scheduled opponent, and they go and they play them tough on the road every year. So I think they're going to play Clemson tough, but I still think Clemson's going to be a little too much for Appalachian State to overcome. So number 12, Clemson over Appalachian State. Next game, we got Howard at Boston College, and I've got Boston College winning that game at home. Next game, Massachusetts at Colorado, and I've got Colorado winning that game. Next game is Sacramento State at Washington. And last week, I picked Washington to win, and they came up a little bit short at Boise State. And this week, I'm also going to pick Washington to win at home against Sacramento State. Next game on the slate, ladies and gentlemen, we got UTEP at Texas Tech, and I'm going to take Texas Tech in this game. Then we have Liberty at West Virginia, and I'm going to take West Virginia in this game. Then we have Monmouth at Central Michigan, and I'm going to get an edge to Central Michigan in this game. Then, ladies and gentlemen, we have Murray State at Northern Illinois, and I'm going to give this advantage to Northern Illinois. Then we got Hawaii going up to the Horseshoe to take on number 1 Ohio State. Last week we saw probably the best coaching move of Urban Meyer's coach career when he decided to let Cardale Jones pick up from where he left off. Excellent move on the part of Urban Meyer. And this week I've got Ohio State in a blowout victory over Hawaii at home. Next game up, I got Austin Peay at Southern Mississippi, and I've got Southern Mississippi in this game. Next game up, we got Minnesota at Colorado State, and my pick for this game is Minnesota's going to go on the road and beat Colorado State at home. Next game on the schedule is Stephen F. Austin at number 3 TCU. And after a first week scare by TCU, I expect them, to my standards, to rebound and have a nice game against Stephen F. Austin in a big win. Next game, I've got Washington State at Rutgers. In this game here, I've been back and forth about this game And it basically came down to a coin toss for me. And my coin toss is home for winner and loss for the away team in these type of games. And with Rutgers being the home team, I'm giving the win to Rutgers. Next game, we got Tulane at number 15, Georgia Tech. The wreck keeps rambling in this one, and they keep on winning. So Georgia Tech over Tulane. Next game, we got number 9, Notre Dame at Virginia. Last week, I picked number 11, Notre Dame, to lose at home to an unranked Texas team. And the Texas team came out, tried to play defense, but left their offense back in Texas. So last week, I picked against Notre Dame, and it didn't work. This week, I'm going to pick with Notre Dame to go over to Virginia and get a win in Charlottesville. So we're going to see how this works out for this Notre Dame thing here. Next, I got Furman at Virginia Tech. And Virginia Tech's going to rebound after a tough loss at home to Ohio State. You know, I never really gave Virginia Tech much of a chance to beat Ohio State anyway, because last year when they beat Ohio State in the first game, Ohio State didn't see Virginia Tech coming. This year, they saw Virginia Tech coming. And they showed you the difference between a national champion team in the beginning of the season versus a team that got hot and won winning the national title last year. Next game on the schedule, ladies and gentlemen, we got number 10, Georgia at Vanderbilt on the road in the SEC clash. This is Georgia. Sometimes they play down to the level of their competition. Sometimes you don't get the Georgia team that you would like to see. But I think this week, Mark Richt keeps his team focused, and they go on to Vanderbilt and they get a win in the SEC. Next game, ladies and gentlemen, you got Fresno State at number 17, Ole Miss. This game could get interesting. Well, this game here, ladies and gentlemen, is going to keep you tuned in the first 2-3 quarters. But I think with the strength and the speed that Mississippi State, that number 17 Ole Miss possesses on defense, will be too much for Fresno State to keep this game close going into the fourth quarter. So I'm going to take number 17 Ole Miss over Fresno State at home. Next game up, we got Middle Tennessee at number 2, Alabama. And I've got, of course, number 2, Alabama, which jumped TCU in the polls this week, just in case you guys out there didn't notice that. I did. After their great performance over Wisconsin. So we got Middle Tennessee State going to Tuscaloosa to take on number 2, Alabama, which is going to be a warm-up game for Alabama, if you ask me. Next game, we got Toledo at number 18, Arkansas. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, men and women, cats and dogs, all shapes, colors, and sizes. By the time this year's over with, mark my words, Arkansas will be a team that will have to be dealt with in the SEC by the time this year gets ready to come to a close. Mark my words on that. And I'm going to take number 18, Arkansas, at home to beat Toledo. Eastern Illinois at Northwestern. Last week, I put Stanford on upset alert against Northwestern. And I still chose Stanford. But I had them on upset alert. And last week, Northwestern beat Stanford. And this week, Northwestern's going to beat Eastern Illinois at home. Next game, I've got Eastern Michigan at Wyoming. And I'm going to take Wyoming at home.